just kept it contained to some key elements and key messages on various things about what is cryptocurrency, how to spot scams, and what have you. But we've done it in such a way to teach people about wallets and exchanges and things to help the masses. But we're going to need to get some help with our funding of our book, getting it sold, maybe completion of some of the editing of the book because it's a costly experience. So I don't know. Maybe
I wonder if there's some sort of platform by which you could, fund that sort of thing using like a crowd of people. Maybe
I have no idea. But Ed, if you've got any ideas, that uses Oak coins to enable us to do that, I would be very open to.
I'll certainly have a think about that. Actually, in all seriousness, absolutely count me in. So we will WhatsApp call obviously today at some point, I'm sure.
Wow, but that's so exciting. We're gonna get like a phone call now as well, Yuri.
So yeah, absolutely.
Books editors in the ecosystem,
We're thinking about writing our own book, by the way, because there have been quite a few.
Yeah, well, you've had some amazing stories you've told us. Now, you also were telling us offline about the exchange listing experience. Maybe we should just mention that we're expecting you to be listed on the 8th of November, 2018, which would be 2 days from now. The question, of course, is it really going to happen? And that's not because there's any question mark about you intending to list it, but actually we're dealing with an exchange called HitBTC, which I sometimes call the Ryanair of exchanges or the Spirit Airlines of exchanges.
It is.
It is. Everything.
Yeah. It is a bit of a pick and mix, unfortunately.
And if anybody from HitBTC, by the way, is listening and wants to defend themselves or just tell us where you guys are going on the exchange, by all means, please do get in touch because we are having a bit of fun and being cheeky, although what you guys are doing to Ed is also kind of cheeky. So Ed,
don't forget this thing isn't actually on the exchange yet.
Right.
We should be listing on Thursday. There is, I think, if you want to pick an exact day and get it confirmed and everything, then you have to pay an extra fee. For us, we probably want to spend money on other things.
You said they were charging 2.5 extra Bitcoin just to say I want to list on Thursday.
I think it's something like that, yeah. So I think from our point of view, I would rather spend that on back rubs or maybe on something that's actually useful for the company. Or
the dog maybe needs to go and have a nice, spa day.
Anything really like. I mean, guys, just think of the socks, right? Think of the socks that you can get.
Oh my God, we could send a pair of socks to everybody that has an Oak token.
Yeah, every listener. So we could basically, So we're going to we are planning to list on Thursday. We can't absolutely confirm if Thursday is going to be the day. That is in the lap of the exchange gods, but that's certainly the plan. Yeah.
Cool.
Excellent.
Well, that's fantastic. Yuri, any other questions about Acorn Collective or about some of the challenges that they faced before we wrap up? Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff that ICOs go through. So we always talk about this. So anything else you want to ask?
Yeah, no. Well, so I wonder if you could explain a little bit more because of the fact. So Steve and I both, again, have had experience with crowdfunding on both sides of like Indiegogo and Kickstarter. Just a little bit on the differences that your company is versus the traditional Kickstarter Indiegogo model. Sure. And also, do you work with nonprofits? So if a nonprofit wanted to raise funds for their foundation or their cause, do you also handle that as well?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So the difference is there are tons of differences really, but we do work with nonprofits firstly. So the idea initially for this was actually Moritz wanted to make it free to do crowdfunding no matter which country you're in. So Kickstarter only operating in like 20 countries, 25 countries, something like that. Right. They're all Western more or less, I think. So the idea was, well, that's not very fair. We should open it up. We should charge, we don't need to charge transaction fees because it's blockchain. So that's like 2.5%, 3%. And actually let's eradicate platform fees as well and make our money elsewhere. So that's where we started. And then we started looking at it. We started building in other bits as well that will help people. People think that you put a thing on a platform, project on a platform, and away it goes. That never happens. So you need to be sure that you've got 25, 30% of your funding pretty much assured within the first 24, 48 hours. There's a lot of other marketing work that goes into making that happen, building profiles, stuff like that. So the failure rates actually on Kickstarter and Indiegogo are around about 80%, which is horrifying. So you've got a really great way of people being able to start any idea and then just build a community, get their first customers. And because of the lack of understanding of how it's done, most of them fail. So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, well, why don't we have an education loop first? So get ready, get in the education loop, start having a look at what you can do to support yourself. Do you understand what you're trying to do? Have you got all the support in place? What about the skills gaps? Do you understand you're going to need to undertake this, that, the other? Then actually let's find a marketplace where they can find people that can actually help them to do that. So you've got a marketplace then that helps you to get ready. Then you can build your profile. Then we've got marketing automation tooling. So you've got somebody in the background that you can say, no, you've got your thing configured wrong. Or no, this is the problem. Your marketing, your video doesn't match up with your promise, doesn't match up with your landing page, doesn't match up with your email sequence. So it can diagnose all of those things for you and just make you more successful. Ultimately, you can get data crunching this stuff as well. Mm-hmm. So our platform really helps you right the way through setup and execution. Whereas Kickstarter and Indiegogo really is much more about, look, if you happen to have that 25% in place already, then fine, stick it up there and our guys, maybe some of our guys will buy your thing too.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Well, Ed, it's been a real pleasure. Are there any final words or notes you want to share with your Oak community? Shout outs to anybody or anything you want to mention about URLs?
Well, definitely for the Oak community is just everyone. Most of the people obviously in the Oak community, because most of them were pre-sale guys, have been around for a long time. They've had to look at the ups and downs of crypto and sort of patient zero in the ups and downs of crypto, as I see it, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very long bear market, and there's been a lot of pain and agony for many projects. And I think yours in particular, because you started the fundraising in February and you're doing the listing in November, certainly exceeds the typical 2 to 3 month threshold from ICO start to finish.
Yeah, that's right.
Listing. So but respect to you guys for actually holding your ground and waiting, because I think we've turned the corner here and we're kind of heading into the next round of an upward market. So well done for being patient. I know it's been hard for the community, I'm sure.
It has, yeah. So they've really, by and large, really stuck with us. I think they like the project. I think from our point of view, we're punchy. So we're going to, from our point of view, it's building a sustainable thing. So I thank them I just want to thank them for that, and look forward to seeing more and more of the platform over the next few months as we continue to build it out, basically. So I hope everyone's glad that we've listed, and thanks a lot, I suppose, is the main message. And obviously thank you guys for inviting me on. It's been good fun.
Well, it's a real pleasure, because I mean, it's really important for us to hear what the journey has been like, and it's great. Yeah. So do you want to just give everybody, quickly, for our listeners on Spotify and Apple, just the URLs where they can find you? So if they want to check you guys out, how do they get in touch? How do they, if they've got a project they want to fund, or they want to just find out more about you, where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. So all the ICO related stuff is on aco.ai, but the fun's all happening over at acornhub.ai, which is where we're building out the member area. We're slotting in the analytics platform and all of that sort of stuff. So they can check that out. They can get in touch with us if they've got an idea or a project they want to talk about. Then shoot a message across.
Perfect. That's great. Thank you so much, Ed. It's been a real pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for listening in today to the Coin Chat with Steve Good, Yuri Cataldo, and today's special guest, Ed Lobbert from the Acorn Collective. To the moon. Until next time. Thank you for joining us today on the Coin Chat. Join us on Telegram on t.me/thecoinchat, where we discuss a range of topics on cryptocurrency. And visit us on patreon.com/thecoinchat for show notes, outtakes, and previews of additional content. Or follow us on our website, which is www.thecoinchat.net. And remember to like and subscribe to us on your way out. To the moon. Until next time.